Hello and welcome to On the Couch with M&M. M&M obviously for Maria and Manos.
This is where we go behind the scenes in real estate business ownership to give you great ideas and tips to help you create fun and profitable businesses so that you can live an extraordinary life.
Let's get started.
So hi guys, and welcome to another edition of On the Couch with M&M.
Today we're really blessed to have our good friend Rik Rushton on the couch with us. And Rik has been in the real estate industry for 27 years. And as a business owner, how many of those as a business owner?
From 98.
98. From 98. So he's got lots of insights and we're so looking forward to asking some really, really good questions.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Rik.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Thanks for the opportunity.
Good to have you.
You too.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
because I know this is going to be really, really good. It's going to be really gold today. Yeah. So,
as we were talking earlier before the show started, we started recording. Rik, you've been in it for 27 years, but one thing that really amazes us is how do you juggle? Because you're not only a trainer and you're well known throughout the whole industry as a leading trainer in the real estate space, but also you're a business owner. You run a traditional real estate office up in the hills. And you've been doing that and still listing and selling, so you're in the grind as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, look, I take hard drugs, so that helps. But no, I don't really. I'm incredibly well time managed. So there's 168 hours in the week, and we just look for the big rocks, as the old saying goes. For me, where's my best time use in any given week? So I do the speaking, training, and coaching, as you talked about, Manos, but we do that in clumps. So I'm out of the office in big chunks doing that. In the office in big chunks doing that. And so what I never do is do a day where I'm part this, part that. It's a day committed to, so this is a day committed to, this is my second interview, if you want to call it that, and I'll be doing real estate coaching stuff and some business entrepreneurial stuff and working with some elite teams outside of the real estate industry for the rest of today. So I won't touch real estate at all. So I'm only really working, like I just sold my accountant's house in the most recent times. I'm only working with that sort of scenario. Okay, so I'm not working with someone who calls in and says, you know, I want a market appraisal on 1 Smith Street, Frankston today. Yeah. That's not my space. So my space is where am I going to have the best use of my time? And I'm always asking myself that, what's the best use of my time today? So, and I'm really well structured up.
And I think the way you do it, like chunking it up like that, it's really good because you're in the right headspace. So imagine going from one, you're in the zone. Imagine going from one to the other. I think that's one. Yeah. Yeah,
and I look at my week
works well.
A fair way out. So I look at the day before, I look at the week before, I look at the month before. So I know where I'm going to be. So I'm in Perth from next Tuesday through to next Friday. So I know what I'm doing when I'm in that sort of space. Yeah. But the week after that, if I was in my office, I'd be in that office space. So you just get your head right, I guess.
Awesome.
And in regards, so how long have you been actually training, and what's your...
Like everybody, I think like everyone who got into real estate, I just fell into it. You know, I don't think I was ever thinking in high school when I graduated I want to be a real estate agent. I just found
What did you think you were going to be?
To be honest, I wanted to be a professional sports person. So I was always competitive by nature, and I had two really good teachers at school that said, you know, you're winning in the game of sport and the scoreboard says that you can win there. There's a scoreboard here too scholastically, you just don't know it. But if you actually played the school game the way you play your sports game, life could be really incredible for you. And then I knew I had to get into a field that would be competitive. Yeah. And real estate was a very competitive field and still is in many respects. And I think the fundamentals have still been there for me now, more than a quarter of a century. The fundamentals are still there. Each day you're asked to compete. Yeah. And you either show up with a competitive attitude or you show up with I hope like heck interest rates stay the same. I hope like heck our competitors are asleep. I hope like heck. The old saying is hope's not a strategy. But I think ultimately I get a little bit frustrated when I hear these words about disruption. Our industry's being disrupted. This is not Uber and taxis. This is not Amazon.com versus Borders. This is just competitive real estate agents against competitive real estate. It's been that way
forever.
I think. Forever. So the only question it's asking out there is, are you ready right now to get a little bit better this year, this quarter, this month, this day? And that's all the consumer's looking for.
Are you ready right now to get better?
Are you ready right now to just get a little bit better? You don't have to get a lot better. You just got to get a little bit better. So is my energy as good as it should be today if I'm about to engage with some people to see if I can shift their position from point A to point B? Yeah. And so I think the challenge going forward for real estate agents is if we get hung up on this disruption thing, we'll really drop the focus, which is Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and Mr. and Mrs. Buyer are hoping to move to a better place. Our job
is to do that.
Help them to move to a better place. One at a time. Don't hurt anyone in the process. If you do it well, they'll probably tell friends and family.
Yeah.
If they do it really, really well, your business, you take that out a year from now, probably doesn't still yet show up. But 5 years from now, decade from now, 2 decades from now, I just think the generation now is very hungry, and, they come with a great attitude and focus. And even in your team, I see it with Jared's team, and I see just the ability that they've got now to pass over and fast forward development. Because in our day,
it took a lot longer, didn't it? Well, you've got the new, you've got the $1 million agent in a year now. You've got this new phenomenon.
It's not a phenomenon. Actually, it's a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
We have agents now
you get into real
writing.
estate within 1 year to 2 years, you can be writing $1 million, and that's because of all the training that exists, I believe, and all the systems. I think real estate industry has never been as structured as what it is today.
100%.
When we first started, and obviously the internet as well.
Yeah,
but it's all the tools that they've got access to. They've got all the tools. They've got the internet. The world of real estate has totally changed. You have, no matter at what age group they enter real estate, we have one gentleman who's in his 60s. Second year of real estate, he's on track to write $2 million in his second year. That's unheard of. We hear about the young people coming into it. Totally industry, never done real estate ever before. Newcomers coming in, writing $1 million in their first year. That's a common phenomenon. So I guess going back to business ownership, what is it that you see a lot of people doing right, and what are the things that a lot of people are doing wrong?
From a leadership point of view, there's no doubt about it. It's all about culture. If you get the pillars of your culture right, the business flies. If those pillars are wrong, it would not matter where your market is, what your point of difference may be in the consumer space. You just can't build anything substantial. So you need some pillars that are strong. I'm big into P&L, which is obviously
profitability.
My business manager's into profit and loss. I'm into people and leverage. If I get the right people, I leverage my business. And so my whole attraction to running, my team, a very small team, but there was 4 of them that were entitled to long service leave. 3 were entitled to 3 sets of it. So I can't get rid of them, as much as I'm trying. I'm not. But the point...
They'll be listening.
They'll be watching, don't worry. But the point is, I think that talented people don't join companies in 2017. They join great cultures.
Yes, they do.
So they're not looking to change from brand X to brand Y. They're looking to join a culture that looks like it's growing, that they can be a part of, that they can hitch their star to that wagon and go forward. So when you're talking about the $1 million agent in a year or two, and that's the new now, and that's the new reality, and that's like 15 minutes ago, that can also be a challenge in your organisation, because it's get out. This is what I've got out of the industry, where I think good cultures are saying, what can we give to the company? What can we give, and what can we be a part of? What can we really see as the great gift we can give? So that because if we come into our organisation to give everything we've got, we get everything anyway. But the people that are in for I just want to get to $1 million as quick as I can. That was nice. Now I'll go off and do something else. Because their attention span's probably not that strong. I don't know that they're the ones that are helping build great brands in 2017. Just an observation. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. So I'm into P&L. Get the people
and
leverage your business right.
I like that.
If you've got some fundamentals, if someone sits in front of me, I want to ask them culture questions. I don't really want to ask them,
give me some of those.
So I'll say, what attracted you to this position? And they say, well, I love real estate, I love houses. I kind of go, well, I love money. It doesn't make me a bank, right? And you'll end up hating both in about 6 months' time unless you get some skill set. But if I say, what has attracted you to this position? They go, we just, from the outside looking in, you guys look like you're killing it, look like you're rocking it, look like you're this, look like you're... To me, that's JC's team. From the outside looking in, you just go... It's like a nightclub. You want to go to that nightclub. There seems to be energy there.
To it.
There's a vibe there. And I think that there's great brands that have gone good, and there's a massive shift from great to good in the moment. It's not good to great now, it's great to good. Brands that were great a decade or two ago under a broken model. So the old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think in 2017, if it ain't broke, it's probably obsolete.
You've got to break it and fix it again.
You need to keep on saying, because teams will only stay in like EBUs will stay under a brand if they feel like it's going to help them grow.
Exactly.
So you've got to give a growth phase, I think, to your people, or it's not that they don't like you, they probably love you, but they go, that's as far as I could go in that model. I now need to go to a different model to grow. So the good thing about you guys, what you do, you give unlimited growth under a brand that can be brand U, brand plus, brand whatever. So I think that's but you've got a great culture. I've seen it from the inside out, and I think from the outside in, we've just got to be very, very careful what we're broadcasting out there as business leaders.
And do you think the new team, the effective business unit, do you think that's the predominant new model that's going out there in the marketplace?
Well, it wasn't really a new model. It was a model that was sort of launched, this is probably going back 20 years ago. I had a PA in 1993. And doing stuff I didn't like doing. And so I had someone specifically just doing my paperwork, and that was part-time. And then I built that up to sort of have someone who wanted to deal with the buyers that just wanted to look, didn't have a trade in. Then I built that up to having a team that looked after those particular things. So I think the effective business units probably were built around just getting PAs in the 90s, and then it sort of grew from there. I think the model in 2017, there has to be a bigger reward monetarily for the agent, or they're not going to stay in that brand, because money's in everything, but it's right up there with oxygen as the old Zig-Ziglar.
Look, if you're an agent or an employee in any organisation, whether let it be real estate or any other industry, if you're not being remunerated at least at the benchmark of that industry or above that, you're not going to stay.
But what I found, man, if you can put the pillars right with the culture, my guys get offered opportunities every single day, I assume, to go elsewhere for higher cuts.
Yeah.
But then they go, the grass may be greener on the other side, but then I've got to start chewing it, and I might find it doesn't taste as good because it doesn't have all these other things. We don't have Friday night pizza nights. We don't have my family feeling like they're a part of the business. They don't have the principals and directors of the company ringing our kids and saying, great job, I just heard that you scored a goal on Sunday and you're the reason why your team won or lost. They don't... They're things that they really value in 2017, and good business leaders are aware of, that. I mean,
it's got to be a combination.
Well, it's got to be. You got to know the numbers in the business.
They've got to be rewarded, but at the same time, they've got to feel.
Got to feel a part of it. But I think you got to know the numbers as a business leader. But I think the other thing you got to do, you got to know who your people's partners are, their kids are, what they love, what they hope, what they dream, and if you get that right,
that's a big part of it.
So I don't know that we pay overs. We probably pay at. In some respects, we're probably below, but money isn't the whole part of the package. And if you get the right people, they want to be. They also want their DNA. They want to build something with you, and they're the people that I've been fortunate enough to have for a long period of time. So it's not that hard to look good if you don't have to go out there consistently recruiting.
That's true too. That is so true. What about property management? I want to touch on that a little bit. Okay, we talked about, a lot of people are talking about disruption in property management. That model is really over. It's too old. It's never been changed.
It needs disruption.
It needs.
I'll say right now,
it really does. From the consumer's point of view,
purely from the
when you hear that the average lifespan of a property manager in Victoria is 9 months in the same office. That's alarm bells.
From a customer service and retention point of view.
So how do you see that space?
Yeah, I think what I see that space is no different to every other space in the game of real estate. You've got to define what it is that you're bringing to the table. Are you going to make that a service part of your business, or are you going to make it a skill sector of your business? So the skill sector says, I don't think too many doctors, accountants and lawyers are worried about what service levels they bring to the marketplace, because they've got a skill set that attracts their patients or their clients, that attracts their landlords. Okay, so when we fly, the most skillful person on a plane is the pilot. The person who's actually responsible for the service is the cabin crew. So they're not flying the plane and serving drinks and peanuts at the same time. So I want my property manager to be the skilled pilot. And I want her or him to be attracting people with their skill set. And I want a less leveraged person to do the service aspect of it. So what sort of service do you get at a doctor's surgery? Not much. But we don't go there for the service. Like, if you think about it, you go there for... And again, if we had a 12 o'clock doctor's appointment, the odds are we won't see the doctor till 12:45 or 1 o'clock. And how we looked after there, where we get told, doctor will be with you shortly, which is code for good luck, buckle up, it's going to be a long sit. On every coffee table at every doctor's surgery,
heaps of magazines,
outdated. Like the ones I read the other day were like Tom and Nicole Together Forever, like from the 90s. But I'm not going there.
What doctor do you go to?
Yeah, it's not good. But Dr. Death, I think. But I think
how old is
he? he's actually very fit.
Okay.
I think property management, we need to define what that is, and if it's a service sector of our business, I can tell you now, there's 99% of real estate operations that need a rocket under them, if that's the key.
Because it's like a side business for the majority of the offices, isn't it? It's just like something that's on the side.
Yeah.
It's not
especially in this
properly
market,
structured.
Yeah, especially in this market, Maria, because sales has been so good. But when the market shifts, that property management income is like, and I'll be really candid with you, over my journey of business ownership, there was times when the property management cash flow was incredibly important for us. Yeah. So, but I just think they're not the forgotten people. They're just not defined. I think your property management team has to be defined. What are they? And if they are there just to help the salespeople generate a listing every now and then, well, make sure you operate that way. But if there's someone who deserves the same respect, acumen as your number one writer in sales, give them that support as well. So all I do with my property managers is I just give them that title, but people don't follow that title, they follow their leaders. So they've got to lead that department, and they've got to lead it in a skill-based way, not a service-based way. And then they'll be the pilot, and I'll put in a cabin crew around them to serve the drinks and peanuts to both the landlord who needs servicing and, more importantly, the tenants who are almost like second-class citizens. Yep. They're almost third world, if the truth be known. So,
and that way you've got the right people working on the right skills.
Correct.
It goes back to what we were saying before.
And it's a bit like me. My best use of time is probably not going to the photocopier. So I do what I think best, and that's get one-on-one with my team or one-on-one with a client, and I let sort of the cabin crew fly the plane in other areas. And there's a little bit of that is trust, and for a long time I thought I was the best at all of that. So
how did you overcome that? Because that's really, because obviously we've been there, and especially you, Manos, and some of the things, letting go, some of the things in the business.
Well, I think you need a bigger why than just the business. So I've been very blessed to, my best friend is my wife, and we've been together for 34 years this year, and so she was incredibly, strong at making sure that I understood that this business wasn't my life, but it funded our lifestyle.
Yeah.
So once you've got someone like that in your corner who supports you, be the best you can be, but don't also forget that there's a price to pay if you're going to go just hard at the numbers. And I never wanted to be the richest person in the graveyard, and I never want to be a guy who turned over X amount of dollars, but had to go home to a pet rock because his family said, you seem to love this business more than you love us. So you got to get the balance right, I think. 100%. So I think three things as a leader, whether you've been property management, sales, business ownership or whatever, is you got to know why you're doing what you're doing. People seem to follow those that know
why.
The big why, and that's obviously an important one. So the most important thing in life is to know the most important thing. People who know that, they don't have to say it, they just glow with it, and people are attracted to it. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing is you've got to give them an environment that allows them to grow. Like, you can't motivate a plant to grow, but you can give them the right environment to grow. And so
the right food.
People unfortunately don't come like plants. Plants, when I get the plant given to me, it gives you that little thing to say, this is how you take care of it. You water it often, or put it in the sun, or put it in shade. Yeah. People come in and they've got their plants, but we don't know that until we start engaging with them. So the questions... And
everyone is different.
Yeah, and so I'll say to them, what's attracted you to this position? What is it that you think we would need to do to help you get to be the best you can be? Right. If you were successful in this role? Those are the sorts of questions that tell me who I'm dealing with, as opposed to... It's not about their CV.
No.
So I don't look at their CV. I look at CV, culture and values. If there's someone who's going to fit into our culture and add to our values, then I hire them.
It's DNA, isn't it? Because you can teach them.
Yeah.
Skills can be taught, but your DNA is your DNA. You can't change that.
Unlike you guys, what I find in most organisations where I go in, I say to the receptionist, what do we value here? They'll give me an answer. I'll talk to the director and I go, what do we value here? He'll give me an answer, or she'll give me an answer. And they're like North and South Hemisphere. They're not even close. They're not aligned. Yeah. And so good organisations go from the Saturday receptionist girl to the guy who's banging in the boards to the photographer who's going there at night time to do the twilight shots. If someone said, what can you tell us about the Eview Group, or what do you value there? They'll just splurt it out, and it'll be the same 3 or 4 things. And that's the sort of scenario I think we were talking about earlier about culture, environment, values, people get attracted to that, because I'm passionate about that. The most talented people in 2017, they're not looking to join XYZ brand or 123 brand. They're looking to join that culture, and whatever the brand just happens to be at the front of it. Yeah, well done to you.
Or even better than their own brand.
Yeah, their own brand. Yeah,
it's a bit of a plug there.
Good plug, Maria.
Thanks for listening to part 1 of our interview with Mr. Rik Rushton. Part 2 will be aired next week.